going to run our errands, and I look like I'm getting a skunk thing going on with the gray hair. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this exciting news with selling the house. So we moved here in May. We put our house up in May. Now, let me tell you, Scott's house is in a very desirable area because it's close to New York City, but still in New Jersey. And the houses in that area, at the time we decided to put it up to sell, wasn't on the market but 2 weeks, and they were taken, like they were gone. And Scott's got one of the nicer houses. I mean, he's got a built-in pool, sauna, tiki bar. This, he uses it as a shed, but it was a little child's dollhouse, but a, life-size one that replicates the house. But anyway, and I will say, we did have a 3-year plan that turned into like a 6-month plan. So there's that too. So anyway, we decided that May was going to be the day, the month that we move and we put our house up. I kid you not. The week after we put the house up, the market just went to shit. So that's why things have been like I'm not gonna lie, it's been a struggle, paying the mortgage and the property taxes in New Jersey, which is absurd. Plus he had to keep the internet on, the gas, the electric, all of that, because we had to show the house too. So we were carrying that, and the taxes for the land, not the taxes, the mortgage for the land here. And Scott makes very good money. Like I told you before, like I'm an open book. I take $1,085 in for Social Security disability. So, I would give him my entire check because I have to contribute something. I couldn't contribute nothing, that's not who I am. But we struggled by, and we've made it. We've made it. There were, some times that we were sweating it out, because you have to remember too that I have a daughter that's in college that needs things, and I pay her car insurance and her phone bill. So luckily her dad stepped up for that. Usually we split. I shouldn't say I pay. Usually we split the car insurance and phone bill, but her father stepped up and has been paying it actually since May. If I get a couple bucks, I'll send them towards, or I'll call them up and say, hey, can I borrow some money? And I always pay them back. But anyway, so it's exciting now that we are actually under contract. And the supposed closing date is November 21st. So that's just the money not going to New Jersey and back in Scott's bank account is a plus. And I want to go back to, I don't know, I'm sure that I had said it before, but our movers killed us. We were quoted a certain amount, and that wasn't the end amount, and they wanted it in cash. So that wiped out a lot of like $12,000, $13,000 in savings. But anyway, that's, hopefully everything goes through. Sorry, dead armadillo. Remember I told you there's so many of them around here. I never seen one alive. But anyway, hopefully this is, we're getting towards the end of the roller coaster ride. And it's exciting now to start thinking about, like we paid somebody to do the blueprints of the house that we want. And Scott and I are going to build it ourselves. Luckily, our neighbor that moved in across the street knows everybody, and his friends do everything. Like, he's got an HVAC friend, he's got a foundation friend. Like, he's just got friends, and Scott has been meeting these friends, and we're not asking for a free ride. We will pay our way, but we may need help along the way because it's just the two of us. Hopefully, Dennis, I'm putting a call out to you that you will be here at some point in the spring to help us out. So that's where we are on the house. Now I want to get into something. Someone had said something earlier in one of my videos, and it was regarding, and I really appreciated the comment because it's someone that doesn't have the same thing that I have, but has their own trauma and bad days and stuff that they deal with. But anyway, one of the things that has always helped me with my bad days, and I say bad days because I don't look like I'm having a bad day, but there are days, people, that I don't want to get out of bed. There are days that I can't get out of bed, and it stems back from the accident. But anyway, back in Jersey, my best friend Joey, who was a Marine, well, is a Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine, he had started a thing where he would go to the veterans homeless shelter, and it's, I don't want to say homeless shelter, it's like a transition shelter from being homeless to trying to get a place to stay. So anyway, he started volunteering there. It's got to have been 10 years now, if not more, that I started with him. But every month, if I remember correctly, it was the second Tuesday of every month that we would, a bunch of our high school friends, and friends of his wife and everything, we'd have volunteer people, and we would cook. Everybody would cook something for the vets, and we would have full dinners. Like, we would do themes, Mexican, Italian. Like, they wouldn't just get a sandwich in a bag. Not that that's a bad thing. If that's all that you can do, that's a wonderful thing. But we wanted to we called it a Veterans Appreciation Dinner that we did every month. And I love to cook. I'm in an RV, so I can't make the stuff that I like to make in a very tiny kitchen. So I can't wait to have a big kitchen to cook in. And then I want to look for something similar around here that I can contribute to and get people that want to join in to do it once a month, once every other month. But anyway, we also, his wife did the part in the women's shelter where we would have get Christmas presents for the kids, and then we'd also adopt needier families in the area, and then we would have a wrapping party and all that. So anyway, I decided, you know what, I needed to do something out here, and it's a little selfish. It's not as selfless as it sounds, because I get something out of it. It makes me feel good to do this. So there was a woman that I saw a post of where she was talking about how she her kids didn't have a Christmas last year, and she's really struggling this year. So I took it upon myself, and I sent her a message, and I would say, I told her I'd like to adopt your family for Christmas, and please send me all of the information. She's got 3 kids, and I said, please make an Amazon wish list. So, which she did, and I have the greatest friends ever. Like, I truly do. And I posted the wish list on my Facebook page, and I asked my friends if any of them would like to contribute, the address is there. You just pick her name instead of my name. It'll go directly to her address. Or if you want it shipped to me, I will ship it to her. And she's been getting stuff. And I order stuff as I can. But she's thrilled to death. One of my friends sent one of the bikes off the list, which the mom was thrilled about. She sent me a message. Just so thankful. And so if you can adopt, like, I don't know if they do it as much around here, but I know, like, in New Jersey, like, I could walk into the grocery store and they would have an a tree of adoptable families, or churches have them, whatever. Do it. It really does more for you than I think it does for anybody else. So now I'm really excited now to start working on the big garden. I need a tiller. I'm pretty sure I need a tiller, because those beds are going to be tough to do. But I'm going to see about laying leaves and cardboard, or cardboard and leaves, and see if I can get something started that way. I don't know. I have to figure it out, because there's no way I can pull all of those or dig them out, because they're hard and there's a lot. So I have to figure something out, and I will. Scott's a genius. He'll figure out, like, this is what we have to do, and we'll do it. We'll get it ready for next year. This year's coming to an end. Like I said, I pulled my squash plants because they were flowering and they were producing tiny, teeny squashes. And it was because I know I planted them. They were supposed to be planted in, the beginning of summer. And, I planted mine in probably the end of August, because as we would order, whoa, this car is coming the wrong way. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so when Scott built me the bigger, when we realized that I could actually grow things, because I usually have a black thumb with house plants, but somehow garden plants I seem to do well with. And, people were very helpful. But I'm also, like, I will take someone's advice and go with it. But if I'm already doing something and someone gives me advice on it, I kind of tend to, like, it's one of those things, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So people were telling me with watering, to do it, like every 2 days, every 3 days, just drench it really good. And I found that my plants, and this is just my experience, I'm not suggesting it for anybody, but my experience is I went out every day and I watered, but not a heavy one. I would just water, like it would be on spray, and I would just make sure the top of the ground got wet, and that was it. And I did it every day, in the morning and in the evening. And that seemed to work for either the ground I had or the plants I planted. I really didn't have any issues with any rot or milky, whatever it's called. And like I said, I'm still learning, and I think we're definitely going to have to get some type of watering system for the big garden. Either get a hose connected out there to get water out there that way, or to have like an irrigation system set up. So we'll figure that out. The most important thing is getting the structure built for the garage/craft room, because we're going to make an apartment on top of that and live there while we're building the house. That's for me, the most important thing. And the second thing is to get my chicken coop done and get my chickens so I can start getting my fresh eggs. And I've been really studying up on chickens. I've been studying up on chickens for a really probably a year now, maybe a little longer. I'm on a bunch of groups, chicken groups, and goats. Been studying goats too. Goats are a little freakier for me because I don't like I know there's if I decide to have male and female and they breed, and there's a possibility that I have to grease up my hand and put my hand and arm out to help a baby out. I think I could do that. I want to say that I can do that. I watched it be done and I'm like, I could do that. But when the time comes, I don't know. Like, you know, I wasn't born and raised in the country, but I think sometimes you do what you got to do and you figure it out. But before we get goats, in with my chickens, I want a mini donkey. And, you know, that's on my list as well. And then as we build the house, like I said, we'll be living in the upper part of the garage area, which is going to be Scott's bonus room, where he will have, he built this incredible pinball machine with, I can't even explain it to you. That's what actually split his head open when we were in storage, the outer frame to the top of the pinball machine. And he'll have a pool table up there, but right now, like for the time being, once we build it, it's going to be our living quarters. And it'll be just like an apartment. And, you know, it's not going to hurt to have a bathroom and a shower, an extra one. Because here's the other thing too. If we'll have 2 extra bedrooms for company, and if we have company that wants to stay, you know, wants their own privacy or whatever, they can stay in the RV. We'll keep it, you know, nice and running and everything. But to take a shower in the RV is tough. So we'll have, you know, the extra bathrooms and stuff like that in the house. But I'm hoping, I have a feeling my cousin Tommy and his girl Tina will come out to visit us. I can't really see. Robin, my girlfriend, and Dennis will be out to visit us. But other than that, like, I can't see my family saying, like, my nieces or nephews or cousins or even my mom saying, hey, let's take a visit to Arkansas. Especially when we're in rural Arkansas. But it is what it is, and I'm lucky. I have a really great friend, Mark, who works for the airlines, and I fly for free because he has me as his extra. But I don't abuse it. Like, I used it once in the past, gosh, I don't even know, 5 years, 6 years. And that was to go home. When we first moved out here, I flew back home for my niece's wedding. I try not to abuse it. I'm going to ask him again at some point this year, after the holidays, to fly out to see my son and my granddaughter probably for a week. But yeah, I try not to abuse people's kindness and the friendships that I have, and I try and be that friend in return. You know, I can't offer a lot. I'm not going to name names, but I have another very dear friend of mine who's been a long time since grade school friend who, you know, has struggled. We've all struggled. And even though I struggled myself, you know, whenever she came over my house, I would have her literally go shopping in my freezer and pantry so she would be able to have food. Or if I stopped at her house, I'd bring food, you know. It's not much, but it's what I could do. You know what I mean? Like, if I can do it, I will do it for you. Yeah, I think that's the way. I wish more people would be willing to give. Ah, that's nice. He's playing a violin. Can you hear that? This guy's playing the violin. Oh, you'll see him when I turn. If you can see him. I'm going to have to get money to tip him on the way out. Oh, that's beautiful. This is my point. Everybody is struggling right now. Well, us normal people are struggling right now. So if you can help, even by, I don't know, paying it forward, by paying for somebody behind you in the fast food drive-through, or, you know, picking up some. I want to be a grocery buddy for somebody. I plan on starting that sometime in November, to find somebody that is struggling and have them meet me at one of the local grocery stores and take them grocery shopping with a limit, of course. You know, there would have to be, you know, whatever limit I could afford, I would like to afford to someone else. So that is where I'm at. I'm at my first destination, so I'm going to get off now. But I hope that introduces me a bit more. And if you watched to the end, I appreciate it and I thank you. And if you could give me a like and a follow, I would appreciate it. Maybe a share. I know I'm not for everybody. I don't have the fancy, you know, the fancy YouTube things. I am me. You know, what you see is what you get. I don't know how to do all of that. You know, Gary tried to show me, but again, I have the brain thing where it's hard for me to learn new things. So, you know, right now it's raw. And our other YouTube channel, Rockin' Ranch, ROCKIN Ranch, will be up and running. I mean, it's up and running now, but will be posted more once we start the homesteading part of this. So I appreciate everybody that has stayed with me. And thanks for watching. Oh, happy Halloween too.